Welcome back to the Eastern Slopes Laboratory. Yeah, not the laboratory. In the last video, we showed how the DryGuy thermofeed system helps resolve the problem of losing heat through the toe and through the foot of the boot through conduction and radiant heat loss. But that only solves part of the problem, and actually a bigger issue is the question of how to keep the heat in that rises. Now, of course, heat always rises, so you don't lose as much heat down or forward as you do through heat rising up. Up here, heat doesn't rise because you've got your leg blocking things. So you don't really lose as much heat through the top of the boot. Also, anything that you do lose is going up into your ski pants. So it's being retained in one way. So that's a little less of a problem for heat loss. Bigger issue is this area right in here, where that's where your foot is. You've got a limited amount of blood flow through your foot and through that area, particularly when you're very cold. So any heat that's lost through there is a real problem. Your feet just get colder and colder and colder. And as we said in the last video, you have a tendency to use thick socks to try and resolve the problem. They don't, because to make your ski boots work, you still have to crank the boot down very, very tight. And so you remove that insulation capability of the sock, and you also compromise the performance of the boot, which you don't want to do. So back a number of years ago, the original product that the DryGuy came up with was called the boot glove. And here's there's the logo. And it's a really very simple product, but extremely functional. It's a neoprene shell with a strap that goes underneath the boot and does not interfere with the binding, and then a second strap which goes behind the boot and holds it in place. Now, this product is so simple and so easy to use. I'm frankly surprised I don't see more of them out on the slopes. You literally just take your boot, and while you have it on, pull it over the boot so that it's nice and firm on there like that. And then come around to the back and tighten it. That's it. Doesn't interfere with the binding. If you have any concerns, of course, you can put it on and tighten it after you put it on the binding. You can always lift it up like this, which is generally how mine are. But if you look at this, that, of course, moves up here. So the binding covers here. Now, not only, even if you've been using the thermofeet section, you've added another layer, and this is 1/4-inch neoprene. It's windproof. It's waterproof, except for the actual cover itself. It's blocking the heat losses coming up from here, but also, I'm going to take this back off. In the last video, we discussed that probably the biggest area of heat loss is airflow. Again, you look at this, you can see the gap here, and you can see the gap in here. And as you're skiing, air is just pulling through here, and it's blowing in, so you're getting cold air coming in, and of course when cold air goes in, the warm air that's in there, any warmth that's in there has to be displaced, so the warm air is coming out. Well, if you take a 1/4-inch thick neoprene, pull it over your boot, and I'm just going to put this back on so I don't have to mess around with it. And it really is that easy in use. There we go. Now, that gap is fully blocked. Wind can't get up in there. This is there's a little, you can see a little bit of stretch in there, but it's negligible. If there's any air getting up into the boot from here, it's virtually non-existent. So you are doing two things with the boot glove. One is this is acting as an insulation layer that's holding your own heat in, but probably more important, and this is based on personal experience, not on any thermal imaging or anything along those lines. Probably more important is blocking the wind from getting into the boot and getting a wind chill factor. And you think about it, if you're going 40 miles an hour down a ski slope, that is one heck of a wind chill factor that you're fighting. So this simple product, basically inexpensive. You pay $500–600 for a boot, and I'm not sure exactly what the price is on these, $25–30, something along those lines. You can use this. You can use a thin sock, which is the ideal for working with a ski boot. You can custom fit your liners. You can do anything you want to, so the boot is giving you exactly the performance you want. And then, by adding this back on, you can get the kind of thermal performance and comfort that you want. And it's great. It's great at high speed. It's also great if you're standing around. If you happen to be somebody who skis with kids. Standing around the snow, they're skiing, they're doing their own thing. You are just sort of watching. Your feet get very cold. This solves that problem. In fact, how we started using them in the first place was Tim, my friend Tim, and our executive editor, was a ski instructor working with kids, and he started using these as a solution to his problems. So these boot gloves are absolutely one of our favorite things. As for all the Eastern Slopes editors, we use them all the time. Hope this has been helpful for you, and go out and enjoy the slopes.